Welcome to another day in the Matrix, waters above crypto. It's been a wild couple of days in the market, very choppy price action, which is to be expected during Q4, especially considering the Black Swan psyop that happened last week. In today's video, I'm going to start out with a Gematria Decode to fill everyone in on what's happening on the world stage right now and how it's affecting the market. So today's Decode will allow us to be more open-minded to the possibilities of what can happen during Shemitah and why it's critical to be calm and patient during these fluctuations in the market. Remember, it's the job of the market makers to get you fearful right before a market becomes bullish, and of course get you greedy moments before a market turns bearish. That's why here we're wolves. We follow the moon, keep our emotions on the sidelines. Our attack might not always be perfect, but we're always eating and we're never hungry. That's what separates this community from the rest. And also, just a reminder, the new month has started on Patreon. For those of you that have been waiting patiently to join, I appreciate all of your support. You can visit patreon.com/watersabove to sign up for the Mastermind Community membership and get instant access to my exclusive Patreon posts, all of my weekly Red Pill episodes, my technical analysis podcast, our community Discord, and also get live updates to see what I'm personally buying and selling. So if you're new here, we do cryptocurrency technical analysis and combine it with Gematria Numerology and Astrology to understand these markets. Feel free to subscribe and turn on the bell notification to stay updated on when new videos come out. And make sure to give this video a like and share this channel with other conscious beings to help grow this community. And for those of you that want to learn how to do technical analysis and combine it with Gematria, you can join my Mastermind course. The link to my website can be found in the description box of this video and in the pinned comment below for access to the course. And with that being said, let's take the red pill. So today's video is going to be mostly about Gematria, but we're definitely going to be doing some technical analysis on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and even look at the DXY a little bit to start this one out. So yesterday, after I shortly posted my video, there was a huge fake out in the market. Basically, the dollar index had a huge spike, and we saw crypto and the rest of the markets react to that. We even saw some lower lows in things like the Dow Jones. So it was kind of funny how basically right after I posted that video, we saw that fake out. And we know it's a fake out now because we could look at the DXY and we could see it clear as day. So this huge candle that came in was, it's really out of nowhere. We saw a downtrend into a huge spike, and then we had this syringe top reaction where essentially there was a rejection and we're pretty much returned back to lows in the structure. Of course, the stock market just opened about an hour and a half ago. So, we're getting some volatility, getting some action, which is to be expected, especially since we had that Black Swan last week. And I'm going to break down all of that for everyone. So just to start out, though, I want to show you how coded this market is, and it's going to make you, see more into how I perceive these markets whenever we get these big volatile moments. So again, this shakeout that happened was at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And the reason this matters is because the entire market of the world operates on New York time. Okay, so Eastern Standard Time Zone. I've proven this many times in my work. All right, but the point here is that we have this huge shakeout happening at 10 a.m. and it was on the DXY. Now, the date numerology we had equaled 10. So the day of November 30th, 2021, standard date numerology 1 + 1, 3, 2, 2, 1, giving us 10. Of course, that would be reduced down to 1 further, but without reduction, we're getting a 10. Okay, so this is how amazing this gets. So the DXY in Gematria is 10 in Chaldean. So we have the 10 date numerology affecting the DXY, which has the 10 Chaldean, which again, pure cipher, and the spike happening at 10 a.m. All right, this is 100% manipulated this way. And the price spike was around 1% if you consider it from top to bottom. Okay, so again, after reduction, you're basically bringing that to 1. So this was all about ones. And remember what I just said, the market operates on New York time, and New York gives us the 111 in the English ordinal. So anyways, let's move it on. What was yesterday? It was a Tuesday, which is Martes, which is the day of Mars. And again, 10 in Chaldean. So it was the date numerology, the Chaldean cipher on the ticker symbol, the time that it happened on, the percentage move of which it happened on. This market is running on an algorithm, everyone. So we're going to continue this, but all of this was going on in the US dollar. That's what the DXY is essentially. And you're going to see US dollar gives us that 29. And the reason why this is so important is because this is all about that recent PSYOP. And I'm not even going to say it. 29. Okay. So remember, I just showed you US dollar 29. And this is all bringing the volatility is this thing. Okay. 29. And a side note, tomorrow, which is the 2nd of the month of December, gives us 29 days left in the year. All right. And I want people to pay attention to how this code works. So, of course, this is all about this whole PSYOP that's going on right now on the world stage is important because it's shaking up the markets, and it's sort of put a little bit of a detour sign on what we were expecting in the market. Overall, the markets are bullish, though. You know, we're seeing ETH essentially break to all-time highs as we speak. So it's not even that big of a deal. It might just be pushed an additional 20 days or so. And of course, we have to be patient, take what the market gives us. That's a very important lesson to be learned for a lot of people, because over the last week, we've seen people get emotional over this without even knowing that they're getting emotional over this. If you feel what I'm saying, you'll vibrationally align with my words. You might not believe in this. You might believe it's a PSYOP, but if you were getting liquidated on trades and you were selling your bags, panic selling, they still accomplished this on you. You need to learn that. That's what the market does. It makes you react emotionally. Okay. And when you start to conquer a market and become a true investor and a top level trader, it's when you use moments like this as learning experiences, and essentially you see it for what it is, which is a PSYOP. So I'm going to show you today in this decode how deep this goes. Okay. So remember this 29, and I just showed you that before, but it gets deeper. 29. This is the zodiac currently in Sagittarius with the 29, and of course they bring this onto the world stage. Of course they bring this onto the world stage during this time. It's obvious, right? So one of the things that I could help people with is how we perceive numbers, and we've talked about this a little in the past. It's a little lesson, but this 29 can be perceived as 2 nines, which essentially is 99, and this 99 is coming back to Jupiter with the 99. All right. So this is very important that we perceive this, because tomorrow, the date of December 2nd, remember, December 2nd, leaving 29 days left, and we're perceiving this as 2 nines or 99, and this day is a Thursday, the Thursday, the day of Jupiter, okay? So this is all in confluence, all right? So coming back to yesterday's fake out, it was also 2 months and 23 days since Rosh Hashanah. So we have over here, we have Rosh Hashanah, which is the start of Shemitah. For anyone who's unaware, Shemitah is the sabbatical year in Judaism, and it's been manipulating the market since the invention of the stock market. So we have over 100 years of data showing us that every 7 years on Shemitah year, we tend to have a big volatile spike in the market. Typically, it's also years where we hit all-time highs. So not only do we hit all-time highs, but we also have large corrections. It's a lot of manipulation done by the elites on purpose to maintain their position in the power hierarchy called society. So this 223 is important because this comes back to the mirror of these guys, skull and bones. And everything in this reality is mirrored. So the 223 perceived as 322. And I've showed you guys this in my work before. Going back to earlier in this month, last month, we also had the 322 days left, 322nd day of the year, and that was a very volatile day as well. So anyways, I don't want to get too off track because this video might be longer, but I do want to talk about some of these things because yesterday we saw the Dow Jones have a noticeable reaction to what the DXY did, and I'm going to show you a little bit more about the code right here with the Dow Jones. So I'm going to hover over this candle, and you're going to get to see all the data coming up here. So the low on the Dow yesterday was 34443, a mirrored number, just like I was talking about before. But what I'm most interested in is the fact that the Dow yesterday finished the day down 1.74%. So any decoders out there, you know where we see this 174, all right? This 174 is coming back to this, the New World Order, 174. All right. And we've seen this number in other places as well, but I just want to show you how coded this all is. So we see that drop down to the mirror number of 34,443 with a drop of 1.74% on the close. All right. All manipulated by the New World Order on the day of 2 months and 23 days. Again, reverse Skull and Bones, and that's who these guys are. It's their secret society. All right. So there's so many more things to say, but of course, all of this was triggered by the recent Black Swan. I'm not going to say it. 29, and where we see these 29s again in these guys. Okay. 29. Now you're starting to see this is a repetition of the algorithm in and of itself through the words. All right. So these guys as well, you could call them whatever you want. You call them Illuminati, you call them a New World Order, whatever. It's all in the code. 29, which is perceived as 2 9s, 99 coming back to Jupiter. All right. Because that's one of their main cults that they worship. All right. And again, you could keep doing this. 2 7s. Where does this all tie in? 77. That's what's going on here, running the financial sector and the entertainment industry along with the Jesuit order. So anywho, keep going. So tomorrow's interesting with 29 days left in the year, also because it's giving us that 55 date numerology. So you can see that right here, 12 plus 2 plus 20 plus 21, giving us 55. And again, this 55 coming back to Satoshi Nakamoto. I'm sure a lot of you that have been following my work for a while now know this. Okay, so we have that 55 in the Chaldean, and also we are in Sagittarius. So that's making a huge important connection, because 55 in this month, we call it December with the 55. And this is in the zodiac as Sagittarius. Again, the 144. We've shown this in the past, but it's quite important how this all ties in. So pay attention. Remember, I showed you the 29 connecting back to this. This Sagittarius connection, which is the month or the time frame of when these guys do their most rituals. We have the 144, and I'm talking about these guys, the Jesuit order, 144, and they're using this variant 53, okay, to push the agenda 53. And remember, I just showed you the 144. That's what this is all about, okay? That's what this is all about. They're pushing this agenda, okay? Variant 53. 53, okay? So this is extremely comprehensive, because where we're starting to see this play through in our local reality is through this thing. Again, as above, so below. So that 53 gets mirrored into the 35. All right. And you're going to start seeing how deep this gets. This is to put the human consciousness into the virtual realm. 53. It is where we will upload our consciousness into the cloud. That is what they're trying to do, because this new world, it's either going to be that way, or it's going to be, we have to do something to make change. And at this time, it seems like a lot of people are pretty silent, but maybe we'll see some change. We never know. And this is all setting us up for the 2022 year. So this virtual realm is all part of UN Agenda 2030, 35. That's what this is all about as well. Virtual reality in our future, and the way that we could perceive, again, like I showed you guys with the 29, how we could turn that into 99. We have the 3 5, which could be perceived as 3 5s, and of course 5 plus 5 plus 5 equals 15. And this psyop is the 15th letter in the Greek alphabet. And in the system of Greek numerals, it has the value of 70. Value of 70. Like Shemitah. This is all happening at this time, guys, because of this sabbatical year. This is not a coincidence, all right? These 35s and 53s that I've been sharing with you, it all comes back to 15. And if you go back and watch my video yesterday, you're going to see that I was discussing the Amazon chart from 15 years ago, because that was 2 Shemitahs in the past, all right? And this is coming to be noticeable now, I believe, on the world stage. It's funny because I actually started talking about the 15 number at 15 minutes in the video. The reason why I'm taking so much time to break this down, everyone, is because I want people to actually learn this code and see how this is working. This is quite important stuff, because it was up until we saw this variant start taking place in our reality, things were kind of going pretty smooth. And now we're starting to see a lot of change out of nowhere, and it's troubling some people, but it's also, in some people's realities, it's really making things dark. So this is the time for us to be the light out of the darkness, and we do it through knowledge and wisdom, gnosis. Being aware of this code is what will set you free if you learn how to utilize this code. So let's get to the technical analysis. All right, so the DXY is just dancing around. It's been extremely volatile. I wouldn't put too much weight onto it right now at this time, because we're essentially seeing that the shakeout we got yesterday was that was all it was. It was just a big fake out shakeout. People were talking about how Jerome Powell talked to discuss the strength of the dollar, and it's all bullshit. It doesn't matter, okay? Because the markets are back where they were yesterday when I was filming my last video. If anything, they're looking stronger. So let's get to the TA. We have some things going on with the daily analysis, but the most important thing that we do need to consider is the daily close tonight, which would be best if it's above the 21 exponential moving average. So let me turn off all this other noise and just show you how this would look with our moving averages alone. And you're going to see this orange moving average is been rejecting us over the past 2 days. And if we can get above this 34, that would also be great. But more importantly, the 21. When we get over the 21, especially since we've been in these falling wedge patterns, I'm going to show you this right here. So remember, I was showing you guys these falling wedges and how they've been just repeating themselves time and time again. It's the falling wedge coupled with a daily close above the 21 exponential moving average, which sets us to move above this heart line. And then we basically trade on top of this heart line, smacking the top of this resistance a couple times until we enter a new falling wedge. So you can see it's happened time and time again. Right here, we had a rejection off the 21. Then once we got above the 21 and outside of the falling wedge, we went up pretty much straight to the top of the resistance. So here we are. Let me remove that. And you can see we are breaking out of the falling wedge, but we also need to get that daily close above that level. And, you know, I'm not really too worried about the timing at this point. We do have a new moon in a couple days, but I think this recent eclipse and the fact that we have another eclipse coming in 3 days, this is showing us very similar movement to what happened back here when we had the back-to-back eclipses and the market got weird for a moment. You know, it really started manipulating people, and people were selling their bags all back here when it was the greatest time to buy. People love getting fearful when the market's about to become bullish, like I said at the intro of this video. So the heart line is looking at about 67K, which is in alignment with the prior highs. We also see that I have this fractal here, and that fractal is coming in from back in November of last year, where if I remove this parallel channel, you're going to see that we actually had a dip on the day of the 26th. Let me turn off these moving averages and make it look nice and good. So you see this V-shaped dip, that was exactly the same time last year, okay? So it came down to lows on the 26th, and then it recovered by the 1st of December, essentially. Then it had this little backup phase. So I know I talked about this in my last video. I don't want to harp on this too much, but so far the structure is looking pretty solid. And I would say that recovering the 21 exponential moving average would be a huge advancement, especially because the 34 is coiling up in the same area. So we are also showing a clear support on the 8 simple moving average. That's a very good sign as well for reversal. And then we have an incoming MACD bullish cross. So these are all good signs. RSI looking to become above 50 very soon as well. Again, another sign of bullish. So with tonight's daily close, I think we should start to see some good signs, but I am just letting you know about tomorrow with the 29 days left in the year, and that 29 in the code, you know, it's let's see how it all goes, right? Essentially, the upside resistance that we're going to be troubled with is probably this 55 simple moving average. But we've seen it happen before, where once we are in a structure like this, where we consolidate at the lows, we break through that 55, and then we tend to have a very healthy move to the upside after it. And now is just kind of the waiting game. So I'm glad that I had some time today to make the video, to fill you guys in with the code, and to basically prepare us for what is to come. So right now, there's also something to be said for a potential inverse head and shoulders formation. I'm not really too concerned with that because, you know, this market is so volatile and so manipulated. I'd rather just not get too caught up in patterns. I'd rather play it safe. So we did have a monthly close yesterday. Now that monthly close wasn't horrible, but it also wasn't, it wasn't the greatest. Okay, so let's just examine what happened. Basically, we closed right around the resistance level of the May trading area, and I mean within a couple percent of the resistance back of the March and April monthly closes as well. So par for the course. Ultimately, though, we're in a position where we do need price discovery soon to look healthy. So we don't exactly know how this is going to shake out. Is this going to shake out like the fractal back in November of last year, or is it going to shake out in the November of the prior bull run when we essentially moved straight up? We don't know just yet, but what I could tell is this market is coiling up. It's really coiling up, and it's getting ready to make a move. So we just have to be prepared for whatever comes. Now, on the downside, if we wanted to perceive this as like worst case scenarios, it would have to be looking back at structure. So our structure right here is these lows. If we do have a pullback and it gets bloody, this 200 exponential moving average is most likely going to be an area we get caught by, and that'd be 50K. I'm just telling you, like, if it gets bad, all right? And then the worst would be breaking structure, meaning trading below these levels. So yesterday's video, I brought up the dead cat bounce scenario. Now let me show you a little bit about what that scenario would look like. Okay, so what we would do is we're going to pull fibs from the current all-time high down to the swing low in the structure, and we can see that the 0.5 fib is essentially in line with the 55 simple moving average. This is about where the textbook dead cat bounce area will start, and in crypto it could extend as high as the 786, so it's a really sketchy. It can go all the way up to 65,600 and then get rejected, and then you need to start paying attention, because if it gets rejected at these levels, basically from the 0.5 fib to the golden pocket, and then starts to break and make a new low in the structure, that's most likely the end of the bull run. So that would be the technical way that most bull runs end, and I'm just sharing that because I want you guys to be aware of all possibilities. We need to be careful at this time because the markets are very volatile, and we have this new psyop, and again, they're going to play the narrative however the hell they want because that's what the market makers do. I'm not saying this to be pessimistic. I'm saying this to prepare you. Okay, so the positive scenario would be doing all the things that I mentioned earlier, closing dailies above the 55 simple moving average, and then on top of that, closing dailies above the golden pocket in this structure would be beautiful. We just have to let it roll, okay, because we have quite a bit of movement between then and there, and we know Bitcoin. We've seen Bitcoin in the past where we could have a day that just goes up $10,000 in a single day. I've seen it happen before in February, this day right here. It was insane. Okay, the price went up literally 20% in a single day when Bitcoin was already, having a pretty decent sized market cap. So the whole movement in and of itself in 24 hours was almost a full $10,000 gain. Right here, you can see on the closure, it was $7,600. But if you measured the full wick to wick into the full 24-hour time frame, it was almost $10,000. It was crazy. So Bitcoin could do that, especially approaching a blow off top, which is kind of the sentiment we have at this time. In the month of December, January, this is typically the time, Shemitah, where we have the end. So I don't really anticipate this going much longer than March. I've told everyone about this. If we do get extended out, it's most likely not going to be that much further. If we do get extended out further, great. We just have to take what the market gives us. It doesn't really matter at this time. So let's consider that the 21 exponential moving average on the daily is our first level that we have to kind of get over. It would be the 382 fib in the structure. Then the second would be this level right here, which is the 55 simple moving average. And given that we're above 50 on the RSI with a bullish MACD cross, this all should happen probably by the end of the week. So we just have to see how it all shakes out. Let's move on to the Ethereum analysis. I probably will be making another video later in the week, by the way, so that's why I'm not going too in depth with the TA. So look at this. I mean, this is gorgeous. We had a downsloping resistance line that I brought up in yesterday's video. We did have that shakeout almost backtest the downsloping resistance, and if I was to draw this trend line like exactly to the wicks, we probably got within it, you know, like literally probably within a couple $50. So I brought up in yesterday's video that since we broke out, I typically like to see a backtest, and we did get a backtest that came within the prior highs in the structure after the breakout. So that's good enough. I mean, ultimately, I don't love to just see straight line breakouts, but it's an altcoin. This is the kind of things it could do. And I think at this time, ETH is kind of pulling the show in a bullish momentum, and that's a good sign. So you can see that we're getting stopped out continuously within the highs in the structure. Again, we really need price discovery, but let me just quickly draw some fibs, and we're going to discuss the dead cat bounce scenario and see if ETH qualifies for that. So you see where ETH is. It's basically trading right between the 786 and the 888. It would be great to have a daily close above the 888 fib. And I would just like to call it clean above 4,800. A daily close tonight above 4,800 would make me feel really comfortable, and continuation to price discovery very soon. I think I brought up in my last video yesterday to consider that price discovery could happen within 48 hours of that video. Now, again, I wasn't saying it will happen. I'm just saying because the way the charts looked, it was in the cards. So, I mean, we're not that far off, you know, like, I mean, we're talking about 2% from all-time highs given from the current highs in the structure. So got to be considerate of that. On the downside, I would be looking for probably this. Yeah, so you see how we're far extended of our moving averages, and we have this resistance line that we've broke out of that we haven't necessarily backtested as a support just yet. And with our EMAs below that, I don't want to throw parties just yet. Ultimately, these EMAs are going to continue to slope upwards with every daily close. So it would be nice to see them getting above this clear downsloping trend line. And until they do, I'm just kind of chill. You know, zero emotions at this time, everyone. Even though we're moving up, it's great to see, but you really want to be calm and composed and just let this play out until we're seeing new all-time highs in this market. So upside, we're really just looking at getting into price discovery. Downside, we do have a noticeable backtest on the 25th highs, but with these EMAs all below this trend line, I'm not happy just yet until I see a backtest of these levels. And I don't want a backtest of those levels. I'm just letting you know how this goes technically. So let's go to XRP. Okay, XRP, again, we had this shakeout of that falling wedge followed by a slight breakout, but on the daily, this is looking really bad. The only thing I can say, though, is I was looking at Market Cipher, and I was using that and showing the people over in Trading Wolves, and typically when we have lows down to the RSI, followed by a MACD bullish cross on the daily and getting above our key moving averages, that typically moves us up into new highs. So it's the 21 exponential moving average that we would want to get above, but I think in our scenario, we really do want to be getting above that 382 again. And that would, you know, this would just be a V-shape recovery as well for XRP. At this time, we are seeing that we're taking out one exponential moving average one by one, but we really do want to see this 21 get conquered, and then eventually getting above 111, above that 55 simple moving average would be best. This MACD bullish cross is coming in very soon on XRP as well, and on the 2-day is when I get excited, because every 2-day bullish MACD cross for XRP typically leaves a very nice move. You could see one happened right back here when we were in a little bit of a down trend, but at the end of the day, the result was beautiful. Again, it's a big reason to dollar cost average or cost average into your positions, because you can move down into your key levels of support and still be just chunking in every day, building a good position. And I mean, look at the results. If you dollar cost averaged in, even if you were in a 2x long, 150% organic move to the upside on 2x. I mean, damn, you know, you could be making, it's all about keeping the leverage low, not having too much of your account at risk, and you'll be able to make some nice trades. You don't have to, you know, keep your alarm clock on while you're sleeping at night. So it's beautiful to see XRP above $1 again. You know, this sub $1 XRP shit, it only lasted a couple of days. It's not that big of a deal. Kind of, you know, coming up against the prior support, excuse me. So that is problematic. But again, we just need to see Bitcoin and ETH continue being powerhouses and My next video that I have for you guys will be me breaking down how the price action of 2017 went for XRP before it had its parabolic move. So that'll be a very good video because I'll be comparing the technicals and comparing the structure and showing you guys how that all looked, because I've been saying this for months now. XRP stays boring until it's ready to move. And in the last cycle, it moved around December 11th. I'm not saying it will happen the same way this time, but it's something interesting how when XRP broke out, it actually had a downtrend into its breakout, and it's following very similar structure. So I urge everyone, go study those charts. You'll probably see things that I've already seen, and it'll prepare you for my next video, because I think that'll be a good topic of discussion. A lot of people are holding XRP here. A lot of people are banking on, the SEC settlement and all this other stuff, but, the charts are the charts, and that's going to prepare you way in advance. So I'm going to leave the video at that. Again, a new month has started on Patreon for those of you that wanted to join the Mastermind Community membership, patreon.com/watersabove. New month has gotten going, and I will be getting everyone into the Discord within the next 24 to 48 hours. I appreciate all the new people who've come to my work and found this channel. You are here for a reason. I might be doing a live stream tonight as well. So have a great rest of your day in the Matrix. Much love.